This is the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. We are live at the Quarry for one final meeting between the Charleston Predators and the Lexington Miners. Good evening, folks. I'm Tyler Falk. I'm joined in the booth by Brett Solberg, and in the stats truck it's Ellie Diomas and JW Hartshorn. And we're glad to have your company with Cameron Irvine back at VFN Studios. Brett, it's been official now. Charleston will be folding at the end of the season, but they'll be reorganizing next season to a new franchise. So we get to go down memory lane with this franchise and everyone that's part of it.
I mean, this is a team that's spread over 15 seasons, over two different cities, two different states, I guess you could say, and there's a lot of history behind it, both in terms of success and failures. For the franchise themselves, they've seen playoff hopes. They've seen, everything that you can for an SFL franchise, and this, for them, at least for the Charleston Predator franchise, this is going to be like the final marker. But Lexington's not going to give up, especially not in their game as well.
And so it is time for kickoff. The Predators will kick off one final time to begin a game here in Lexington, as here we go. The Miners in all grays with orange helmets, Predators black helmets, black pants, white jerseys, as the opening kickoff will be taken down by Gabriel Manning, down for a touchback, and that is where Kenny Slider will take to the field for his first time today. And to say he's had some struggles here, Brett, really not the best way to describe it. Only 15 interceptions, top 10 in the league.
No, he's been middle of the road this season, which Lexington kind of been middle of the road for every category too.
And he finds his favorite target, Gabriel Manning, across the hash marks. Big gain on first down to open up things here.
Yeah, and that was a good look to start off from Kenny Slider, and he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that's going to be hot or cold to start things off, and you get a jumping, diving catch from your main man in Gabriel Manning, who is, the $5 million stud, as you can tell it in the league, and you get that hot start. Kenny Slider's going to start feeling good.
20 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Slider now trying to get down underneath. That is incomplete. Intended for Chris Alter, and the hit was forced in jarring free by one of the linebackers as we introduce you to the Miners offense. Deion James and Ian France with the tailbacks, with Alexander West, Gabriel Manning, and Marquis Sengo at wideout. DJ Bandit, Chris Alter are the tight ends, with Jasmine Swift, Zeno West, Phoebe Collins, Ricky LaFleur, Donnie Treveson, and Oliver Tarask on the line. Play action here, this pass middle, caught with room to work inside the Charleston 35-yard line, knocked down somewhere around the 32 goes Alexander West.
And this is something that Lexington wished that they maybe would have had a little bit more of in a more consistent manner, is getting those big catches in early moments, especially to your two top receivers in Manning and West. And now both these guys, 20-plus yard catches, they're moving down the field in a swift pace, not even a minute old, and they're already flirting at the 30.
Tight ends right, two wideouts left for Slider, already deep into Charleston territory. Slider left side, caught inside the 10, down around the 7-yard line. Manning connects again for the second time on the drive, and it's first and goal, Miners.
And this is a team that has averaged only 205 yards of passing per game heading into this contest, being in the bottom half, almost in the bottom 5 in the league in passing, and they've been wanting this from Kenny Slider all season. This has been their identity for seasons on end. Pass first, ask questions later.
Another two tight ends set. We're at the 7-yard line. They'll run left side. Deion James, and he's corralled at the 2-yard line. Hit quickly by Filler, and it's second and goal.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that we also have to take credit for Lexington is that they're passing early because they're noticing Charleston's 19th ranked pass defense. So they're starting to cut into that, the holes that Charleston brings defensively.
Goal line versus goal line formations here on second and short. Manning shuffling over to the right-hand side of the offense. They'll try and run through the middle, and nowhere to go. Maybe even losing a yard. It's the linebacker, Ben Bowman, coming up in the backfield.
And now they're kind of playing into Charleston's strength defensively. 9th ranked in rushing yards against at 101. They're kind of just feeding into it, so they've got to find a way to kind of misdirect them.
Manning one-on-one on the outside, cutting inside. They'll try and look to the near side, and that cross-cutting tight end Altair, his second grab of the night, results in a touchdown.
And that's huge, because Lexington scoring first usually tends to sway them to the good side. It's just they need to keep that consistency throughout, which they haven't had, throughout this season. That's why they've lost 7 in a row. But this is a good start from them, getting down the field with passing and then finishing it with passing, cutting into, like I said, the holes that Charleston brings defensively, and really making them pay. 2.5 minutes, 6 points on the board.
Altair having a career season, now his 4th touchdown this season. He only had 3 coming into this season in his 5 seasons of play. Now he's got a total of 7 on his career, and Lexington have the lead in this, the 11th meeting between Lexington and Charleston, and of course the final one. And what really enticing to me is this is truly a rubber match. Both teams have won 5 games against each other. Whoever wins this will have all-time bragging rights against whatever each other's franchise, and so that is what we're looking forward to tonight, now that Charleston is knocked out of the playoff race with the Chicago win earlier tonight. So that means Iman Kopech has a little bit less pressure taken off his shoulders, but he might be looking back at his teammates and saying, guys, we could have done better this season, but I also could have done way better.
Yeah, and with the pressure being off Kopech's shoulders as well, it also comes with the rest of the team, and they can kind of start playing a little bit more freely, and and maybe have a little bit more risky passes from Kopech, maybe a little bit more stylish running from someone like Yayo Montana, who's going to play his final game of his career.
And the run right side is a good run to open up things here for the Predator offense. That is Montana, who gets the first carry of his final game of his career. Let's meet the rest of the Predator offense. Nick Hoagland, Patrick Rudlang are the rest of the tailbacks, with Brad Taylor-Wright at fullback. Doug Spelling, Nick Price, Michael Knight are the wideouts, with Leon Sandcastle and departing Xavier Solomon, who was playing his final game as a Predator here tonight. Leon James and Finley James in the guards, with Bahalaner Hooper and Perrin Ibarra at tackle. And that run by Hoagland is really going to end up going backward. Good tackle behind the line by Nate Heslop.
Yeah, traditional run to start things off from Charleston. They like to establish the run. It just hasn't been with them this season. We talk about struggles from Lexington's side on the run. Charleston has just struggled as well. They're 17th in the league.
Kopech trying to roll away from pressure, trying to tuck it and run. He's sacrificing his body, trying to move the chains. Good on him for trying, but he's only going to pick up a yard. Needed 3, and Charleston will go 3 and out to begin the game.
Yeah, and then there's that struggle of, a team trying to establish a run, hasn't gotten to it. They look to pass, nobody's open, so the quarterback has to do the running and just get stuffed right away. Now Lexington's going to get the ball back.
And here comes Manning on the return. Out of 1, out of 2, but then corralled at near the 35-yard line. That's indeed with their mark, Gabriel Manning. And while that was a very quick and speedy first drive, didn't get a chance to introduce you to the Predator defense, and we'll do that now. Baron Went, Dan Dash, John Lawley, Anthony Ellison, and Pat Redding are the D linemen, with Tigga Clay, Khalil Thomas, and Ben Bowman at linebacker. Jacob Clear, Brandon Ewing, and Leo Morris make up the corners, with John Stomango, Grant Hardaway, Matt Ryan, and Sam Blotner at safety. First drive was an aerial assault by the Miners. We'll see if they try and replicate that drive here. Indeed, they will start with a pass, try and look over the middle. That is caught for a quick 2-yard gain.
Yeah, not a bad look to start things off, because Lexington in their first drive looked deep most of the way. They only had 2 passes that went short. One was incomplete, and then the one was the 3-yard catch from Altair. So it's not bad to start off short.
Bunch near side now. Manning, who was on the line, goes out wide, brings a defender with him. Blitz coming here for the Predators. Pass is incomplete. Only the second incomplete pass of the night, and Altair was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and that one maybe just a little bit too high from Altair's reach. and just couldn't get his mitts on. It was a good throw from Slider, just couldn't get the catch.
Slider going to go alone in the gun here on 3rd and 8. Back to pass. He's going to chuck it deep, and it goes right to Charleston. And back the other way, all the way. Sam Blockner inside the 10, and he's all the way home. Touchdown Predators. Vintage Charleston on display.
And that is what we see from Charleston, is the ability to turn the ball over to their side. Last 4 seasons, 22 takeaways, 19, 18, and now their 16th takeaway leads in a pick 6 from Sam Blotner, who seems to do it in moments when you least expect it. Just the 2nd pick 6 of his career, his 24th interception all time. But man, he has been a star for this Predator squad for so many seasons.
He has spent all 8 seasons of his career here in Charleston, and what a way for the Charleston franchise to go out with a play from one of their own, from developing him to bringing him alongside so many other great names in that defensive backfield with Matt Ryan and Johnston Mango as well, also back there. It is a sight for sore eyes for the Charleston fans who will be saying farewell to him at the end of this game, but right now they're loving it. 7-7 your score after the pick 6 from Sam Blotner. At Lexington, another decent return from Gabriel Manning will get set to go. And you know, the old saying goes here, Brett, live by the sword, die by the sword, and the passing attack bit Slider in the back.
Yeah, and we should expect more passing regardless of how Slider performs, because he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks in slinging that football. 9th, 296 coming into this game.
Box, and Charleston sent 5. Pass left side is to who else? Gabriel Manning. Easy pitch and catch from Slider to Manning.
Yeah, and Manning has been their yards eater this season, and not so much of a touchdown merchant that we're, kind of used to seeing from, the mid part of Gabriel Manning's career. I remember at one point where he finished the season with 9 or 10 touchdowns, and, he's only at 2 at this rate, but he's well over the 800-yard mark this season for Lexington.
Stretch it outside, and great contain on the outside by Khalil Thomas. No gain.
Yeah, and again, that run game from Charleston has been their go-to. This is a team that, can get behind the line of scrimmage. 7th in the league in TFLs this season, 87 of them, and they've got a couple more here tonight.
2 tight end, 2 wide receiver set. Now tight ends on either side of the formation. 5-man rush again, like Slider, that's picked again. 2nd pick in as many drives for Kenny Slider, and this time it's picked off by Brandon Ewing.
Yeah, it was a good look from Ewing as well, and again, looking deep, wasn't sure. You see how close sometimes wide receivers are, and it's almost in that realm of too close. You saw that from Manning and West. They were both in the same vicinity, which made it kind of easy for the secondary to kind of pick where that ball was going to go. Ewing got to the spot, got his hands on the football, gives Charleston good field position.
And for so much of this first quarter, Lexington's offense has been on the field. Only the 2nd time we've seen Charleston's offense here today, as Montana gets the give on the outside, gaining a couple yards after being tackled by Cameron Shaw. And now give us a chance to introduce you to the minor defense. Chris Andrews, R.C. Puff, Berkel Demora, Mike Mello, Brenda Puff, and Jaden Swift are the D linemen. Philadelphia Collins, Iggy Turner, and Tony Roberto are the linebackers. Nate Heslop, Jay Rock, and Cameron Shaw are the corners, with Marco Swift and Travis Arthur at safety. Another Hoagland run, and he is blown up. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, and we've seen this quite a bit from especially the linebacking core. You look at guys like Phil Collins and Tony Roberto, and you can't forget about that line as well. Berto Demora, I think is gonna be one of the Lexington All-Stars this season.
backfield rollout here. Pass right side is incomplete from Kopech. And the offense still struggling to get going here tonight. Another 3 and out and another punt.
Yeah, and Iggy Turner was really wanting his third pick of his career on that one, but it just doesn't get into his bread basket, but he'll be happy with a 3 and out.
And the punt is away from Matachiyuki. This one a pretty decent one, which will be hauled in at the 11-yard line, and Manning can't make heads or tails on the return. It's Hoagland on the tackle at the 12-yard line.
And now it's going to be even more difficult for a Lexington team that, you know, has become pass happy. We've already seen 2 picks from Kenny Slider. Are they going to go back to the pass game, or are they going to have to trust in that run game, which we haven't seen much success through the first 7 minutes?
Seen a lot of pressure sent by Charleston. A lot of 5-man, 6-man rushes, and instead they see 5 here again. Slider middle. There's Manning making a very Manning-esque catch. One-handed first down.
Yeah, and this is a guy that could get to 100 yards by the end of the first quarter. We have barely, you know, scratched the surface on how important Gabriel Manning has been to this Lexington franchise, and he continues to just get these yards. Again, another big catch. He's, you know, he's becoming, you know, one of the legends in this league.
Saying Gabriel Manning becoming a legend in this league. I think he already is. 2 wide receivers will run left side. Oh. It's another fumble, but luckily for Lexington, they're able to jump on this one, so it's not another turnover.
Yeah, had a bunch of gray jerseys in the area, but as soon as Khalil Thomas got to Deion James, that ball was gone from his hands. No chance. And that's one of those strip hits that, you know, coaches strive for, especially in college. You want to see those strip sacks. You want to see the strip tackles behind the line.
Look at 12 yards already, and looks like Lexington should be walking all over Charleston, and that's a catch by West for another first down. They'll continue to move the chains and continue to fly by air.
And it looks like about 120 of these 124 yards have gone to either West or Manning, who have really set the pace. But like you said, the huge discrepancy, literally 10 times the amount of yards that Charleston has, but we're tied simply because of the 2 turnovers.
Lone pick 6 by Sam Blotner early on in the quarter is the thing keeping this game close, and Blotner really comes away after the deflection by Wright in the linebacking core for another pick.
And that was a gift, like, ready for the secondary, and it just manages not to get it in his hands. Kenny Slider can breathe a sigh of relief. It's been a while since we've seen 3 first-quarter interceptions from a quarterback in this era.
Play action, Slider, middle again. This time it is caught, and this time they go inside the 40-yard line. Altair, his longest grab of the night. Early night, that is.
And what you've noticed here, Tyler, is that they've gone outside a lot with both Manning and West. This time they go inside, and there was a wide open hole. Charleston didn't adjust, and Altair was wide open. Nobody within a 5-yard radius of him. Easy first down.
I think they caught Charleston really in zone coverage, and you've got Ben Bowman who's covering that middle area of the field. He's coming down to stop the short pass, but he left Altair go behind him. 4-man rush here from Charleston. Pass middle, caught again, and that's our first catch of the night by DJ Bandit. Second catch, thank you.
Yeah, and these tight ends can get involved. It's just not as much because you've got 2 stars in West and Manning. But you can't forget about DJ Bandit. At one point, he was basically the receiver 2 of this franchise, and he had multiple 500, 600, 700-yard seasons.
Lexington back in the red zone, where the last time they were here, they were able to come away with 6. We'll see if they can do that here. Run, middle, and no gain. Good penetration by Dash through the outside. They're coming around to get the tailback from behind for no gain.
Yeah, and then this Charleston line doesn't really get a lot of credit because there's just a lot of, you know, young names, guys like Redding, like Dash, like Wendt. Like, those guys you have to be careful of.
Looking outside, that is caught by Altair on an out route. But Thomas is there with the stop as we approach the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and again, you talk about that Predators defense, you think of the secondary, then you think of the linebackers, and that defensive line, they can do just as well of a job as the veterans from Charleston as we end the first quarter officially.
7-7 your scoreline here, but Lexington is right on the doorstep with more points. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL on the Virtual Football Network. Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg back with you here from the quarry here in Lexington. Glad to have your company, as well as a special thanks to JW Hartshorn and Ellie Diomas in stats. Kevin Irvine, the SFL commissioner, is back in studio. He'll be providing us updates from the game going on opposite ours, that being DC and LA. Four-man rush here to begin the second quarter here on third down. Slider going to try and tuck in and run, has blockers in front of him, but he is upended by Jacob Clear after 2 yards, and the Predator defense holds firm and will only surrender a field goal opportunity.
Despite having the blocking as well, Jacob Clear just shed his front blocker and got to Slider with relative ease and stops this third down pass.
And the kick from Takeda Yuki is up and good, and Lexington retake the lead. This now brings it to a 10-7 contest.
Right now, like you said, everything should scream Lexington dominating this game, but Charleston fans are counting the blessings of Sam Blotner right now.
We're back underway. Charleston's offense only mustering 12 yards and have gone 3 and out for their first 2 possessions on offense. Looking for ways to change that here. Maybe the change of quarter is the spark that this team needs to find some motivation, find a way to move the football here in their final game as the Charleston Predators. Try and run near side. Montana bulldozing over one and gets steamrolled by another defender, but he gains 5 yards. The first downs have not been an issue here, Brett, for Charleston. It's second and third down, which seems to be the thorn on their side.
Yeah, it seems like they get just absolutely shelled or absolutely walled by this Lexington defense, and they try to go run, and most of the time I've seen second down inside runs. I would hope they would go back to the outside.
With Hoagland, and Hoagland's going to get the first down of the game for Charleston, and he will get all the way up to around the 40-yard line.
And that was a designed inside run too. But Hoagland just follows his blocker in Brad Taylor Wright and says, hey, if you want to go outside, I guess I'm going to go outside too. Follows his path, gets a nice 10, 11 yards on that run.
Making a total of 15, courtesy of our statisticians Ellie and JW. So just on the inside of the 40-yard line, offset eye behind Kopech. He will roll, delayed blitz coming, pass over the middle, is caught, but fumbled! And Lexington recover, and it's minor football.
And you have to think, we've seen this before, Tyler, amongst the many games that we've broadcasted together, all about possession. And it feels like that catch had possession, there was a football move being made, and that ball was jarred loose. And we're going to see a challenge. I don't blame Jacob Clear for doing this, but this could stand.
This is a tight one. As Jacob Clear throws the challenge flag, we'll go under the hood with the umpire and take a second look at this one. It's going to be close.
It's all about if he made a football move, and I see at least 2 feet go down on the Brad Taylor Wright catch. I think this might be overturned, but you could go either way.
And in fact, it is an incomplete pass, not a full football move. It is still Predator football.
But like I said, that one was super close to call, almost inconclusive in my opinion, but they saw enough that they said, you know what? Brad Taylor Wright didn't have enough of that possession. They're going to call it incomplete. Predators have a second chance on this drive.
A lot of exasperations from the fans here in the quarry and here on VFN Network. That one a wobbler! Oh, it's nearly picked. A wounded duck. Right for the taking, but could not haul it in. Here's Heslop.
And then, yeah, Heslop, again, also a guy that you've got to be careful of. Looking for his 70th career interception, and that one wasn't as much as a gift. He still had to reach for it, but goodness, that was a big hit on Kopech.
3rd and 10. Kopech's gonna have to air it out. He'll try and look for the screen near side. Montana has it, but he's going nowhere. Swift on the tackle. Another punt for the Preds.
Yeah, and it seems like the screen pass is a bit passé in the SFL, and it's mainly I'm thinking maybe the blockers are just not ahead enough to help block. But a lot of those times we see negative yardage. I would say Montana's lucky to get a couple on that.
Punt is away from Cameron Duty. His 3rd one of the night. He's been busy in the punting department. He'd rather be kicking field goals. Manning out of a couple tackles, making a 3rd tackle. But he's finally corralled at the 31-yard line. We know how dangerous he can be. He's had a few of those in his career.
Oh, just a few? Just 26 kick returns and 8 punt return touchdowns, which has him all-time and arguably the greatest special teams player that we've seen in this SFL. Just a few, right?
Right. So now you're reminding me that he might be a legend in this league. He might be one of the best.
I'm saying he might be a receiving legend, but he's already a special teams legend. I'll clarify myself that way.
All right, we'll get into the nitty-gritties of this. So we'll go delayed handoff here for Lexington as James picks up 5.
Yeah, and again, if anything, I think Lexington is in a prime position to really eat even more clock and get down the field even more and basically show Charleston, at least tonight, how to move the football.
Split backfield with a 3 tight end look. They'll try and run right side with Francis. And he can only muster up 1 as Demango says hello.
Yeah, again, both running backs this season for Lexington have been struggling. Coming into this game, James 3.1 yards per carry. Francis only marginally better at 3.2 yards per carry. Like, you get to the point where it's like something's got to give.
5-step drop pass middle. That's caught. 1st down, Marquis Sango. That's all wide receivers and tight ends now on the board with a reception for Lexington.
And don't let the position fool you, Tyler. Sango was a crucial tight end back in his Denver days, and he converted to wide receiver to help out that core in Lexington, and he's done fairly well in this job, even though he's only gotten to his 15th catch this season.
Now slider middle. Oh, Weston, tightly contested coverage. Hangs onto the football. Brilliant catch. Excellent concentration to maintain possession.
Any team that scouts Lexington has to be weary of both Gabriel Manning and Alexander West when they're going into defending the Lexington offense, because those are 2 highly talented receivers that you cannot leave an inch open for.
Slider gonna roll to the near side, gets it rid of it in time, but he had to get rid of it quickly, and the throw shows incomplete.
Yeah, and I don't mind that throw from Slider either, because it might have been an overthrow, but there was no defender in sight past after that. So overthrowing his man when you have good pursuit on you, that's fair.
Under 6 minutes left to go in the half. Pass middle, and a bit too high this time.
And this could be the case of the receiver not being ready as well. It may be a little bit too high, but also at the same time, receiver's got to look up, see where that ball's heading, and not just have his hands out. If he needs to, get a little pep in his step and kind of hop for it, then you got to do it.
Spread the field here, make Charleston go into the dime package. Blitz coming, 6-man rush. Slider gets rid of it. It's one-on-one coverage, and Manning has it to the 12.
Yeah, when all else fails, I think Slider's main priority is, if all else fails, let's just throw it to Manning. I'm sure he can make a circus-like catch if he needs to. And Slider did well in getting it to him, and more credit to Manning getting position in front of his guy. Leo Morris didn't have a chance to get that ball deflected.
25-yard pass from Slider to Manning. Another long throw. Slider trying to use as much air as possible. Looking for the end zone. That's caught. Touchdown. Young, the fourth-string wide receiver. Slider having no issues tonight finding anybody.
I know that Canadian Thanksgiving was 2 weeks ago here if you're a Canadian historian, but it really feels like Lexington has really carved up the Charleston defense through the pass. 233 of the 246 yards from Lexington has been pass, and it might be turnover friendly, but they're still getting the ball down the field, and that was again another perfect passing drive.
8 plays, 69 yards, just under 2.5 taken off the clock. The total yard show, the point show. They are holding this offense in check of Charleston, and despite those 2 turnovers, like you said, partner, Lexington having their way. Like this video, I'll say it again, like this video. Please support our hard-working crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commentating on this video. It really helps the channel out. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. Charleston will run left side here to begin the drive. Only 1 yard gain by Montana. He's taken down at the 21-yard line.
Yeah, and really only Charleston's success has been through the run. Kopech's 0 for 3 so far in this contest, and Montana, and both Montana and Hoagland have respectable yards per carry so far. They might just have to go run strict.
Try and go pass over the middle. That's incomplete to Brad Taylor Wright. And tonight's night just gets worse and worse now for Kopech. 4th passing attempt, has yet to complete a pass tonight.
Yeah, it still keeps them above, you know, the proverbial Mendoza line when it comes to the QBR, but something's got to give with that pass game. I've never seen something like this out of Charleston's pass game.
Kopech rolling across his body. There's our first catch. Going to come at a better time. Nick Twice hauls it in, first down.
And it always feels like when the pass game is in danger or the team is in danger of potentially losing a close one, who else other than Nick Twice over the last season and a half has come to the rescue for the Predators, just like that catch came to the rescue on that drive.
Moving all the way down to their own 43.5. I formation, Kopech gonna have to launch it again. Looking left side, it's bobbled up and no one could find it. Thankfully for the Charleston Predators, that falls incomplete.
Yeah, a high fly ball, and J-Rock lost sight of it in the lights, it looks like, after the deflection, and just couldn't get to it. They're going to be okay with it, Charleston. They'll get back to it 2nd and 10.
Another I formation. 5 down defensive linemen here for Lexington. They'll send a blitz. Floater left side. That's Montana. He carves up the on the line, and he's all the way inside the Lexington 35-yard line. Some fancy footwork for the man who's retiring.
Yeah, that's the fancy wide receiver footwork coming in on the swing pass too, knowing that he had to bobble around, try to juke his way around some players, jump some guys, get a couple extra yards. That's why Charleston at the beginning of the in the beginning of the offseason signed Yayo Montana. They wanted that versatility at the halfback position.
Empty backfield. Go back middle. It's into traffic and it's nearly intercepted by Marco Swift.
And it's not just Charleston secondary that's looking for an interception. Lexington has been, you know, trying to get their hands on the football as well, and they've had a couple opportunities to get to it, but still a goose egg in the interception department.
Offset eye now here for Charleston. Closing in on the 100-yard mark, slowly but surely, maybe trying to catch up to Lexington. Blitz coming. Kopech outside, that's caught. Turning upfield with room to run is Solomon. It's Solomon. to near the 10-yard line. First down again for Charleston.
Almost a little bit of a smart motion from Kopech to send out Solomon to the slot instead of on the line, which gathered the separation because Lexington brought 6. And with that is going to bring that separation. It's going to have a wide open look. And they don't call him Weapon X for a reason, without a reason. And that's where you see out of it. He gets major gains on the offense.
By far the best drive of the night for the Predators. And here's Hoagland, flagged down to the play near the holding department.
That's a clip.
And it's going to be blocking the back. Knock the Predators back 10 yards. That good run by Hoagland snuffed out.
Yeah, forget 10. That's a 15-yard penalty. So that knocks them even further back. And even looking at it from that range, if they get no yards after that, that's still a hefty field goal for Cameron Duty.
What do they got in their bag of tricks? 5 wide receivers, 4-man rush. Kopech near side to the 20-yard line. That'll get some yards back. But
it's safe to say 7 is not 25, and now they get themselves into a 2nd and 18. At least when it came to that clipping, it was on a first down, so at least they still have 3 plays to get down in the field 25 yards.
4 DBs on 3 wide receivers on the far side. Now at the motion, 3 DBs on either side of the formation. One of the corners coming on a blitz. Pass middle, and great deflection and coverage by Lexington. That'll force 3rd and long.
Yeah, a little bit of double action, at least on one of the receivers. Looked to be the slot guy that was covered on a double, but ultimately it was a good call from Lexington because they know, at this point, with 18 yards left to go, you're almost playing prevent.
Looking at a first down to inside the 1-yard line, but most likely looking for a score. Kopech going to try and tuck it and run, and his 2nd run of the night gets some closer to the original line of scrimmage, but 2 yards shy. And then again, 12 yards shy of that first down marker. Here comes Cameron Duty.
Yeah, and this will set for a modest field goal, at least 30 yards is definitely doable. 2-minute warning.
So maybe the time clock playing ice the kicker here at the moment. It is 17-7 here at the end of the first half.
And Cameron Duty has to think to himself, there should be no wind involved. You're playing in a dome at the moment. You shouldn't have to worry about curving the kick.
He's 33 of 37 on his career. He's now 17 of 20 here in season 25, and that field goal is up and good. Charleston now double digits on the scoreboard, only a touchdown behind Lexington.
Yeah, and with everything that's played, easily their best drive of this half of this game, and they finally, get some points on the board offensively, but they were definitely hoping for 6 points.
One is on its way deep into the end zone. Man, he's going to have to take a knee. So here comes Lexington out for another drive. They don't have to. They don't have to slow things down and run a whole lot of this clock out because they're probably not going to. We're going to probably see a lot more passing like we've seen throughout this entire game.
Yeah, 95% of their yardage has been passing. I expect it to be the same.
We'll see a run, and we'll see why. Charleston's all over that one, getting through into the backfield quickly.
And as much as Deion James has embraced the role of being that halfback one, it just hasn't come to him this season, and it's going to be a struggle for him even to get to 500 yards this season, just because Lexington doesn't focus on the run.
Screen pass near side, and that's blown up in the backfield. Francis going nowhere. Morrison on the hefty hit, and it's 3rd and long.
A lot of big name veterans on this Charleston defense. Guys like Jacob Clear, Brandon Ewing, who has one of the interceptions, Leo Morris, 10 seasons in the league, John Stamango, 10 seasons in the league. Those are notable names in the league.
Slider looking for it. That one's deflected away expertly. Step for step were the Preds, and Ewing with the deflection, and a rare sight tonight. The first one of the night, Lexington will punt.
Yeah, and they're gonna love that because it's gonna pin Lexington deep on this punt. He's going to punt this at the 2-yard line, and it's going to potentially give Charleston good enough field position that they can use their timeouts.
Punt is away. We'll see what the return yields for him as this gets clear, gets all the way up to the 47-yard line. So in a very good spot of the field. Really good field position to start this drive to figure out whether or not they're going to get some more points. And, you know, they were able to drive last drive. You know, even 3 points here at the end of this first half would not be something to scoff at.
Yeah, and you're looking at it from this perspective. Once they get past half field, that's when the timeouts are going to start.
Roll out Kopech. Middle caught inside the 40-yard line, gain of around 15 as they call their first timeout.
Yeah, and there's another good pass. They're looking for their, basically the only receiver that has really made a massive impact that isn't named Xavier Solomon is Nick Twice. Those two guys only have the only catches of the game for Charleston, so I'd be looking both their ways.
From the 39-yard line, spelling the man in motion to the slot near side. Kopech into triple coverage. Heslop with the pick, and he will put his Miners on their own 43-yard line.
Now we just have to say the same thing, but flip it over. Lexington gets past half field, they're going to call timeouts. But expertly said, Tyler, you see that it was double, even triple covered on Nick Twice, and as well as Xavier Solomon, almost in a soft zone between that area was Heslop. Seeing the pass going Solomon's way, he just gets in front of it. He has plenty of field down, and now at the 43-yard line, Lexington can really make Charleston pay if they want to.
All 3 timeouts with 48 seconds to go in the half. Slider will start under center here for the drive and start with a run with James to the logo. Maybe just past it for a gain of 8, and now they'll call their first timeout.
Now it'll be a decision time if they want to continue the run, because it is close to the first down marker, or if they want to get those yards in big chunks, which they've done relatively easily in this first half.
Bunch set near side here for Lexington. Slider looking for a man, and that's a rare drop from West. Maybe jumped too high for the pass that was coming right around his head to begin with.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was aiming when he was jumping and aimed his wrists instead of his palms, which, you know, that's wide receiver 101. Never try to catch with your wrists, because more often than not, it's going to be dropped on the ground.
More often than not, you're not going to have your gloves on you. That'll help aid the catch as well. Unless you're wearing some very fancy gloves that have, you know, almost like oven mitts. Almost like you're an F1 driver. As Slider goes back to pass, rolls right side, pass right side. That's caught. First downer on the 42, second timeout call. DJ Van is the man on the catch.
It just makes me think, now that you said it, you know those sliding gloves that the MLB players have that go down to like their forearm? It just makes me think of potentially Alex West having that, but just a bunch of stickum on it.
Have we come up with a new concept now? I mean, do we try and use that technology from MLB to, oh my goodness, nearly picked away, but Lexington won't care. Inside the 10-yard line goes Marquis Sango.
I'm going to have to see this replay, because that was probably closer than what we inspected the first time on that interception attempt. And yeah, that looked like Leo Morris again, but this time, you know, being maybe a couple feet away from that ball, and it just doesn't work out, leaves wide open space for Sango on the catch and run. And Lexington inside the 10, you know, we've seen them, you know, inch their way to get that touchdown to Alter. Can they do it again?
Football's a game of inches, and though that last play exemplified it all, just inches away from a Charleston pick. Instead, first and goal here for Lexington as Slider was looking for Bandit.
Yeah, and Bandit wasn't completely broken away from Ewing on that. I think Slider was just hoping that he would just pass him through, power him through, and have his hands open, but wasn't the case on that play.
Slider to throw, looking end zone, and he overshoots a target again. Jacob Clear in the area. It brings up 3rd and goal.
And the overthrow isn't too bad, especially if you aim at that corner pylon in the end zone. You know that nobody's going to be there, especially when you throw that ball very quickly. So Slider will accept that, but going shotgun in goal to go is very interesting.
Slider right side, tipped and complete. Nearly picked off in the end zone by Stamango. Instead, here comes Takeda Yuki to try and get back their 10-point lead.
Yeah, very aggressive throw style from Slider, throwing it into triple coverage again, and kind of, trying to hedge his bets, I guess you could say, trying to get to his main receivers out there, but it just doesn't quite work out.
Lexington will take the interception and turn it into 3 points at the end of all of this with 20 seconds left to go. Under 20 seconds left to go here in the first half. It is Lexington 20, Charleston 10. And the Predators, who first met the Lexington minor franchise, these two teams have been moving all the way around and have seen different iterations of themselves throughout their history. Their first meeting took place all the way back on January 8th of 2018, when the Indy Red Devils took on the Tulsa Desperados in a Tulsa Desperado 3-point victory on the 21st of January. And right now, it's not really looking that way, that it might end up as a 3-point game, but you never know here, Brett.
Yeah, this SFL is a wild one. And you could be down 30 at one point and still make a miraculous comeback. We have seen that on multiple occasions.
Looks like Charleston will just run this one out. A run by Montana, gaining only 1. Tackled quickly by RC Puff. And that'll take us into the locker room for halftime. 20-10, your score here from the Quarry, Brett. And, well, again, we say it again, yards not necessarily the tail of the tape.
No, and you look at this and there's a huge discrepancy, 292 to 119. But Charleston has, continued just to claw their way and maintain in this contest. Yes, it really helps that Sam Blotner got that pick 6 to really secure things, but also in that same vein, Lexington has not done enough to really break themselves away either. And you saw from that last drive, it just stalled out at the 7-yard line, and they kind of stuck to this ultra aggressive shotgun pass formation that just didn't seem to work on the 3 plays. And maybe they'll change that come the second half, but in a game that screams all Lexington, it's only a 10-point game.
And that'll do it for halftime. Miners 20, Predators 10. As we're looking back to the Quarry here on the Virtual Football Network, Tyler Falk and Brett Solberg here on the call with you, with Ali Diomas and JW Hartshorn in the Stats Truck. SFL Commissioner Cameron Irvine is back at BFN Studios. We eagerly await that next game break, or the first game break of the night from DCLA, or a scoring update from that game when that becomes available. But for right now, Lexington kicks it off to Charleston, who will receive the opening half kickoff. And we are back and underway here in the second half. And we will get a return from Jacob Clear up the hash marks, looking for blockers and take it down at the 30-yard line. The Predator offense got going a little bit in that second corner here, Brett. What do they got to do to maintain the momentum?
I mean, I think at this point they just need to establish their own kind of form. Because they just haven't had the football for that long. They started to see it a little bit more, especially on that long 12-play drive. They held on to the ball for 3.5 minutes. They need to repeat that.
Pitch right side. Montana with a stiff arm, but he's only able to muster a yard after the follow-up tackle by Travis Arthur puts him down.
Yeah, and again, Lexington is probably going to counter by knowing the run game is, a little bit on the warm side for Charleston, so they want to shut that down immediately and force Kopech to pass, which he is sub 50%.
Trying to run instead here with Hoagland, and he gains some decent yards, all told 6 on the run to the left-hand side. That brings up 3rd down here for Charleston.
An interesting 3rd and 3 as well. Charleston could go with a 3rd straight run, but everything screams pass for me personally.
They were 0 of 2 in the first quarter, 1 of 3 on the second quarter. That makes them 1 of 5 coming into this 3rd down here tonight. They'll run with Montana and nothing doing. Only a gain of 1, they'll punt.
That one was just expertly called by Lexington's defense. Again, could have gone either way on especially that kind of hovering short and medium situation on 3rd down. Could go with a pass, could go with a run. They decide to try to stretch it out with Montana, and Lexington guessed right.
Fair catch called for by Gabriel Manning. Calls that one in at his own 20-yard line, and that is where Lexington will come out. And the Miners, they have been waiting for something good to happen. It's been a very rough season for them. Losers of 7 straight. Their last win coming all the way back in week 4 on the road against Sin City. This home crowd hasn't been able to cheer for a winning Lexington Miner team since week 1 of this season. So right now, ahead by 10, things are looking up as one run to the outside, continue to breaking tackles, but finally brought down, 2-yard gain, Ian Francis.
Yeah, and their last 5 seasons has seen 2 playoff appearances. Both of them, unfortunately, have been wild card losses. So it has been, a little bit of a struggle when it comes to that Desperado/Miners franchise, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
That's a good run as well from Deion James to pick up the 1st down. Take a look at it again. Great blocking here from Lexington.
Yeah, it includes guys like DJ Bandit coming in to get that crucial push to give James, the extra yard or 2 necessary, and getting Lexington to establish that run game and get a 1st down off it.
From their own 31, they're going to usher the tailback out of the backfield and go with an empty set. 4-man rush, slider looking near side, incomplete. That hit off the back plate or helmet of Tigga Clay.
Yeah, and that one, very interesting to motion your running back into a wide receiver spot, even though he was in a blocking assignment. So maybe they were trying to misdirect him in saying there was going to be a screen off the left side, but they threw on the right instead.
Back ace run near side. James has a little bit less of a fun time on the ground game than he did last time, as he is hit hard. Only a minimal gain. 3rd down here for Lexington.
Yeah, now we're going to see basically a pass on this 3rd down, and we're seeing that shotgun formation, almost what we saw on the goal line, but not with a halfback. It's just going to be slider on his own.
They've converted 5 out of 9, over 50% here in the game today. Can they keep it going? Slider, middle, caught at the logo. 1st down, Lexington. It is Bandit stealing another 1st down.
And that was a good throw from Slider too, and you'll see this on the replay from his perspective. Getting it over the head of Khalil Thomas is a big thing, but another big thing was getting it into that thin kind of line between the defenders and getting it into the breadbasket of Bandit.
Three look out of Charleston's defense, showing no emotion nor reaction to the motion by the tight end. Slider nearly picked up again. Clay again in the area to knock that one aside.
Yeah, slowly becoming a coverage threat is Tigga Clay in this game, and that was something I wasn't expecting from him coming into this contest. Only 3 pass deflections. He does have an interception to his name, but he's normally known as a run-stopping linebacker.
Corner blitz coming. They'll pass in that direction. That is caught by Manning. Cutting to the inside, hauling it in for 9.
Yeah, it was a tough catch from Manning as well. He had to make sure that he hauled onto that catch, and sometimes a well-timed push can jar a ball loose, and that was a tough push from the Charleston defender.
Now officially over 100 yards through his receiving game today. Run right side, getting out of the blockers, and nimbly getting over the downed lineman is Ian Francis for the 1st down.
And Francis got kind of lucky he stayed on his feet because Charleston guessed right on that 3rd and 1 run, and they just couldn't get his hands on him, and James gets the first down.
Lexington having their way on this drive, and it's been a long, time-consuming drive. Already over 3 minutes as West hauls that in, trying to band it with the Manning-esque one-handed grab.
Yeah, and I think what Lexington said in the halftime locker room, Chad, is they're saying, you know what? We're dominating them down the field. Let's try to slow things down, knowing how close this game is, and just drag this out so it turns into our favor when it gets to the 4th.
Doing it with passing plays, but it comes back to bite him. The blitz sent by Charleston finally gets home for the game's first sack.
And finally, John Stamango gets himself a sack this season. There's been a couple times I've seen a Predator game, and I was thinking to myself, Stamango almost got to him. Now his first of the season, his 4th in his career.
Now that'll knock Lexington a little bit off rhythm. 2nd and 16. Slider, they have no trouble. 2nd and long, who cares? Bandit's gonna pick up another catch and another first down.
Man, all-star DJ Bandit is coming back in this game. They've needed him in this 3rd quarter for some big catches. He caught one at the logo. He caught another big 10-yard grab earlier in the drive, and this one probably more important than the rest because now inside the red zone, Lexington really dominating the drive again through the pass.
6 receptions, 79 yards. All over the field today. Swing pass near side and minimal gain, if that. Ewing in on the stop on the Deion James reception.
And not a bad idea to go with a swing pass once you're inside the 20 because everything has been deep from Slider. We haven't seen much in terms of short, and we haven't seen stuff in terms of swing.
Medium passes sprinkled into a few of these long bombs. Pitch left side, and Francis rolling over defender for a couple more. And this area of the field, while Lexington's been able to get down the field and find points, it favors more the defense. They have less area of the field to cover.
And they have stalled Lexington earlier. The end of the first half was a result of a field goal. Now going split shotgun. Interesting and bold move from Lexington.
Looking for a screen pass. Slider running for his life, and he runs into a big sack all the way back near the 30-yard line. A disaster of a play, and Charleston capitalize.
Tyler, when was the last time, and you can be completely honest with me, when was the last time you've seen a 20-yard sack?
Well, we almost saw one in a college football game like that in IRL about a year or two ago, but not here in the SFL for a considerably long time. And a field goal is the result. Yuki's kick is up and good. It's a 13-point ball game, but man, oh man, were Charleston all over that screenplay.
Yeah, just way all over that, and it just, Slider just kept going backwards. Like, I'm nearly speechless on how that play just kind of formulated throughout that. If we had Mark Lopez's bingo board, I don't think he would even have a 20-yard sack on that board at all.
Well, I would not, but credit Charleston for getting home and getting that done as we are back underway. Make it clear, trying to make a man miss through the middle. He's taking down the 24-yard line, and we finally get a game break from VFN Studios. Over to Cam and Irvine. Cam.
Thank you, Tyler. Teams at the bottom of the standings, man, they're not messing around. They are competing and winning ball games, including Los Angeles, who breaks this tackle. Darius Iniguez off to the races. DC, punt, missed field goal, punt, punt, punt in the first half, getting blanked. 14-0 Lycans. Back to you.
Thank you, Cam and Brett. All I gotta say is about time that LA's gotten something together. As Kopech looking right side, no one in the area.
Yeah, that one was a little bit tough, but yeah, going back to LA, we've been almost kind of begging for this form of Lycans to come in, but here comes the tough part. Their second half struggles have been documented, mainly because I've been screaming it to the high heavens, but let's focus on DC LA in that second half too.
That game also going on to the offense. The once ours concludes here, head on over there to check on how that game's going. That pass over the middle is incomplete. Of course, we'll keep you updated throughout the night as well.
Yeah, and again, it's been, going back to this contest, Tyler, struggle, I would say, is saying it lightly for Ivan Kopech in terms of his completion percentage and his passing performance tonight.
3rd and 10 here for the Predators. Four-man rush. Kopech pumping once. Now looking deep downfield. He's got a man at the 40-yard line. A screenplay that turned into a go route works out in the best of cases.
You know what? Credit where credit is due. And I'll say this, Kopech used that pump fake simply for the defender pursuing him to dive and look for the pass deflection. And then he had just a little bit more time, and that's all you need as a quarterback, a little bit more time. One of those receivers was going to get open. He finds it.
It's coming past middle. That's caught. Solomon, Weapon X, gets the first down inside the 28-yard line.
Yeah, and sometimes you can just see how the confidence of a quarterback can just flip after, seeing an amazing play that we saw from Kopech earlier on. And that felt like he was doing this all night, throwing that ball to Solomon for that first down. Now it feels like we're getting that confidence back from Ivan Kopech.
First and 10 from the 27 officially. Two wideouts split backfield behind Kopech. They'll hand off to Montana. He's got 4 before being taken down by Collins.
Yeah, I don't mind the idea of, establishing that run, especially since, most of it has been fairly good when Charleston does hand the rock off to either Hoagland or Montana. But you got to get that pass going because you're down 2 scores. Clock is ticking.
Eight men in the box for Lexington, expecting a run. Instead, Charleston go pass. Swing pass to Hoagland, right side. Swift is on him and drags him down eventually after a short gain. That brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, another 3rd and 3. We've seen this play before where Charleston didn't convert on a 3rd and 3. So let's see if they can change it up here. Maybe they'll go back to either Hoagland or Montana to get the first down.
Lexington trying to overload the far side, but Montana gets out of one, gets a great block, and he's free for a bigger gain than he would have gotten. It's 1st and goal. How about the block by Doug Spelling coming back to the play?
And again, most wide receivers are not known for their blocking ability. So when we talk about someone like Doug Spelling with a great block to help Montana out, it just further emphasizes that team camaraderie that Charleston has brought to the franchise from the last couple of years. That is a tight-knit unit. They will do anything for anyone.
The 9-yard line, I formation run, right side. Hoagland, nothing doing. Stood up near the line of scrimmage by Iggy Turner.
And what Charleston can't do here is get stalled with their run. Lexington knows that Charleston likes to run in goal-to-go scenarios. We've seen it for most of the season. Now you need to find some clever passes to get down that field, down that 8 yards to get the touchdown.
Final play of the quarter. Swing pass near side. Montana out of 1. Collins there to bring him down shortly after. It'll be 3rd and goal as we enter the final quarter of regulation in Charleston Predator history here in season 25 of the SFL. I'm Tyler Falk. He's Brett Solberg. In the Stash Truck is LED Omas and JW Hartshorn. And back at VFN Studios, it's Cameron Irvine. We thank you for watching tonight's SFL action here on the Virtual Football Network. One more quarter regulation to go. 3rd and goal. Kopech into deep trouble. Trying to find Spelling, but I don't know how he was trying to find him when there's 4 defenders on Nick.
Yeah, that was just a simple case of rewarding your man after he does a good job. But like you said, not the right idea for it, especially when you have guys like Heslip and Cameron Shaw and Travis Arthur and Marco Swift all on the same area. Like that's begging for an interception.
Charleston going to settle for 3. It'll still be a 2-score ball game regardless of the outcome, but it does chip them a little bit closer. They only have to get a field goal now to tie if they can also get a touchdown. 3 minutes taken off the clock. It is now 23-13. And still, Lexington have the lead, and they'll get the ball here on the ensuing kickoff. A chance for Lexington to really put the hurt on Charleston, to take the rubber match of this game, to get the final win against the Charleston Predators franchise before they reorganize. What team they will be, we don't know yet. That is being kept behind closed doors by current head coach and owner Jacob Clear, who announced earlier this week that the Predators would be folding as a franchise but being reorganized into a different team. Where that team will be, who that team will be, is only known to a very select few members of that organization, and more than likely the SFL commissioner as well. But we eagerly what the team will become as that pass near side is incomplete. Meanwhile, Lexington, their so-called slow game here, Brett, is throwing the football, and they do it with pretty good success, or at least they have done tonight.
Yeah, and what they've done is just, let me try that again. What they've done here in the second half is they slowed the game down by kind of mixing it a little bit more. We've seen more Deion James runs. We've seen shorter passes. We've seen longer passes.
That's right side. West is there, and he'll move the sticks. First down.
And you got to love having a guy like Alex West who could be a wide receiver 1 to literally any other franchise in the SFL. And he stays here to become your wide receiver 2, so you can have, a deadly duo that at any given moment can, split up and get 200 yards of their own offense just by themselves.
Alex will go in motion to the slot near side after being solo on the right side. Run, middle, James. He's tiptoeing through the tulips, and those tulips being white jersey Charleston Predator defenders for 5 yards.
Yeah, and again, going through, trying to slow this game down, trying to get that clock to tick. 10-point game, under 9 minutes. You want to get that clock down as quickly as possible.
Run, and he could run, but paying for it was Francis. Gets all the way to about a yard shy of the line of the game.
And again, you go with the run. I like the idea that, trim that clock down. But here's the interesting part too. Lexington's pretty quick off the hop as well after the play, and not letting the play clock go off.
Try and run near side. Francis can't get out there in time. Charleston get home with Tia Clay. They'll force a punt, and there's still plenty of football left in this game.
I think that's the first time we've seen Lexington go 3 straight runs, and there you kind of see the result as to why they don't do that, is that they just don't get enough yardage to get those first downs. So now Charleston reaping the benefits, now have a chance to close the lead.
They'll try and make a return here, trying to get to the outside, but he is taken down at his own 29-yard line. Sunday, all eyes will be on Pittsburgh in the first block when the Riverhogs welcome the desperate Minnesota Legend to town. Plus, Sin City takes on Carolina, and Fort Worth takes on Queen City in the late block. Coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The SFL lives right here on the Virtual Football Network. Offset eye behind Kilpick will try and run up the middle, and they've seen varying degrees of success through the middle. They get only 2 from Montana this go around.
Now let's see if they establish a little bit of a pass game here on 2nd and 8. We saw that on the last drive, and it worked with relative success. At least in the first half, it's worked with, or second half, it's worked with relative success.
Late handoff, Hoagland, nowhere to go. Excellent reading of the play by Chris Andrews, who gets off his block quickly and gets to the tailback.
Just like how I've struggled to say the 2 words of relative success, the run game has relatively not succeeded, at least in the first 2 plays, and now has led to a 3rd and 8.
Rips left, Kopak, that's bobbled into play. Guard tip, nearly picked, intended for twice, presumably. And now Charleston's gonna have to punt.
Yeah, still enough time to at least get the ball back, but you have to start thinking in the back of your mind, when is the right time for 4-down territory?
Presumably not yet is the call as the punt is away. Manning, the ever dangerous return man, only gets maybe a yard on the return. Charleston not taking any chances with Gabe Manning.
Yeah, and I wouldn't take any chance with him either. I've already listed off his career stats up to this point. He's a danger as soon as the ball touches his golden hands, it feels like.
Signs that the first couple of plays to begin the game, Gabe Manning is, well, he's had a couple of plays. He is over 100 yards. But we've seen very little of him since. Mesa blitz, Alex West is there as Charleston set the house. Good on the quarterback to get to West in time, but man, they are all putting their ears back and coming after the quarterback.
That was what, 8 players all of a sudden pursuing the line? I mean, it's great to get that quick pass off. And Slider had the wherewithal to see at least one receiver open. And you go to West, who's got the sure hands.
And run right side is Lexington. Out of a tackle. James down the numbers. Inside the 30-yard line. Take a clay, chasing him and ushering him out of bounds. Near the 23-yard line. Longest run of the night for Deion James.
You know how you can take the breath away from a team? You struggle with the run game the entirety of this contest. You don't really see any glimpse of that run game breaking past 8 yards. And then suddenly, someone like a Deion James kind of gets the handle, then just absolutely breaks out for 30 plus, gets him into enemy territory, close to red zone range, and it just takes the life out of the eyes of the Charleston defenders.
Pitch near side. The run game working pretty well, and Francis able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Morris there all over the defender, but Morris kept his legs turning.
And you have to think, again, from a Charleston perspective, Lexington may run the football more than they'll pass now moving forward because they've got themselves a multi-possession lead. They want to secure their 3rd win of the season by any means necessary, and it might be more runs.
Pass right side clear in the area and hits the intended target in the nick of time, that being Altair.
And again, it's been good looks from Slider. This one a little bit riskier than most, but I don't mind the look to get to Altair, who's, you know, kind of been on a tear.
3rd down for Lexington. They've converted over 50% of the 3rd downs tonight. That pass is also caught by West. 1st and goal at the 6.
And again, going back to that dual threat wide receiver duo, Manning was your first half guy, and it looks like Alex West is going to be your second half guy because he's made some major catches, especially on this drive alone, to continue the minor drive, to continue chewing up this clock, now down to 5.5 minutes left in the game, and now they're in goal-to-go range.
High formation officially at the 7-yard line. Another big heavy-duty blitz coming, and they get to Francis in time. Clay with the takedown, a loss of a couple.
Yeah, and Lexington might not mind it right now, but they don't want this to be a recurring theme, at least on this goal-to-go drive. Push back about 1.5 yards, it looks like, at the 7.5. Now Lexington has to decide if they want to pass off this formation to misdirect them.
So just run right side. James to near the 2-yard line. 3rd and goal as it's still all LA as we enter into the 4th quarter over at Lycanthrope Lair, 17-0 over DC.
And if anyone's looking at that just from the outside, you're saying that's, you know, a pretty big shocker, but DC has not looked great the last couple weeks, and I think LA's starting to prey on them.
3rd and goal here. Lexington to go up by 3 scores. Ron Francis, nothing doing. No gain. and they're going to have to settle for 3.
I was kind of expecting Lexington to pass on this 3rd and goal, but they go with the stretch run, which has garnered mild success. They were maybe thinking Francis or James would be getting that extra blocking, but it just never happened. So now Yuki has to kick a chip shot field goal from 18.
Takeda from the right hash, trying to take as much time off the clock before he gets a chance to kick it, and it's an easy kick, up and good. 26-13, they lead by 13 over the Predators in less than 4 minutes to go of the Charleston Predator franchise.
And now the tough part for Charleston is going to be scoring 2 touchdowns in the span of 3.5 minutes for a quarterback that is sub 50% and has not really looked great the entire game.
Clear on the return, starting from his own end zone. It's a few blocks, good little spin move past the 30-yard line, up to the mark of down at the 33-yard line. One of his best returns tonight. So regardless here, Brett, Charleston is out of the playoffs. This is their final game. This is the 3rd different name they've ever gone under. Started out with the Indy Red Devils back in season 10, transitioned to the Indy Spitfire before moving over here to Charleston, and they've had a lot of good memories, a great rivalry with Carolina, the Corbin Cup, and I'll always be fond of Charleston, their class act, especially during the passing Itabariyama and Eglin. And even though that was a hard moment for Carolina, Charleston showing their support of class act of an organization here as of late is Kopak trying to cut it over to the left-hand side, but Charleston's going to largely be sticking around. At least that's what the news is from Jacob Clear here, Brett. And they've got a good foundation to build off if they can keep a majority of their players. Yeah,
I expect whoever remains from this Charleston team is going to go to this new reorganized franchise that's going to come for season 26. And this is all pending league transaction approval. But going back to that Charleston franchise, 6 playoff appearances, 5 wins to their name.
Spelling with the grab in tightly contested coverage. They will not give him the first down, and Clear doesn't like it. He throws the challenge flag for the 2nd time tonight. He was right on the first challenge earlier in the ball game. Let's see if he's right on his 2nd.
And this one, again, all about positioning on this challenge. The last one was positioning on trying to see if Brad Taylor Wright had the football on the catch. This time, it's all about where Spelling lands, and they might be considering knee, but I'm looking at position of the football, and that looks well past the first down marker.
Referee, what do you got? And even if they don't win tonight, Charleston have won something in their final game as the Predators. They've won both their challenges.
2-0 on challenges. I mean, I think most teams that are in the top 4 in the standings would like to be 2-0 on challenges, and they don't even get that.
And so it's first down. After the challenge on their own 43-yard line, 3:14 to go in regulation. Blitz coming off the edge, and Kopak lost the ball, but the linemen pick it up. Heads up play by Finley James.
Ouch.
And it's 2nd and 17. Another outside blitz. Kopak looking left side, and is somehow caught for a first down. That's Nick Twice on the outside.
Oh my goodness, I didn't think he caught that.
Brand new set of downs. Kopak looking left side. It's
my goodness.
Right into the bread basket. How close are these passes coming? Within millimeters of being picked. Another blitz coming. Kopak left side. That is not caught by Twice. Hit hard rather quickly by Heslin.
See, that one, the incompletion, I thought that was the most sure-handed catch from Nick Twice from that set. I thought the second one that was completed was an interception at first, but that one managed to be a catch as well. You're starting to see the full capability of these receivers.
3 wideouts here for Charleston. On the 31-yard line, pass left side, double coverage, nearly picked off again. We saw that earlier, and Jay Rock can't hold it in. we see him on the sideline every so often. He keeps stomping his feet like, I've had so many opportunities, but I can't get one.
Yeah, and J-Rock's one of those guys where he will probably punch a wall if he could. With all the missed interceptions that he's had. He's only had 2 this season, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
5 wide, and it's 3rd and 10. More than likely looking at 4-down territory. 4-man rush pass left side, and spinning around trying to find it is Heslop. It hits off his shoulder pad. 4th and 10. And 4th and probably last offensive play of the franchise right here.
Speaking of uncharacteristic, Nate Heslop only with 1 interception to his name this season. Yes, it was a fantastic interception if I remember correctly, but still only 1 interception to his name when he's got nearly 70 in his career.
Pass is deflected, incomplete by Cameron Shaw with the big deflection. Turnover on downs, and Lexington will take over. And more than likely at this point going to be taking the 6th win against the Charleston franchise and final win against the Charleston franchise.
Yeah, and this one was just maybe the inconsistency of Iman Kopech rearing its ugly head. We saw the 2 fantastic catches from the receivers, but then it was tight coverage and completions back to back to back to back, and they just could not move down the field.
Run right side here for Lexington. They're going to lose a yard. It'll probably take us to the 2-minute warning. And at this point, let's recap the Charleston franchise history. And they did end up playing, these 2 teams ended up playing earlier this season. Charleston blanked Lexington 17-0. That being the least amount of points they allowed at home. But tonight's a different story. Lexington 26-13 as we get to the 2-minute warning here in this one. Some other notable notes here from Charleston. They got their first win on debut back all the way in January of 18 against the San Francisco Sharks, a team that also is no longer in play as well. They had a 43% total win percentage. They are top 10 in terms of the league when it comes to overall wins with 55 wins at home. And when it comes to away wins over back to franchises, they are 14th in the league with 31 away wins with 73 away losses. That also puts them middle of the pack. Some other notable notes. They did play in 11 playoff games, winning 5 of them, making it only as far as the semifinals back in season 23. As here's another run, looking for a first down, nothing doing. It will be 4th down. Charleston's going to call a timeout. And they will get the ball back at least one final time.
Yeah, and you go back, you dial it back into the franchise as well. The only other franchise that Tom Pepper played aside from the Vancouver Legion was with the Indy Red Devils for the first 2 seasons of their existence. And that kind of brought a little bit of an identity with them. And then they got bought out and moved over to Charleston, and that started off a new identity, which started off, kind of hot. They had 3 playoff appearances in their first 6 seasons. Like you want to see that out of a franchise, especially moving to South Carolina, which is a very football-heavy state. And, there's been varying successes, varying upsetting records, but Charleston is going to be a franchise to be remembered, especially for the quote-unquote old heads of the league.
16 seasons in the league, that pass is intercepted. That's going to be your ball game. As Lexington win J-Rock, we're going to pick up their 3rd win on the season in a very dominating show of force here today, giving Charleston their 8th loss and final loss of this season as we go to SFL headquarters and VFN Studios. Kevin Irvine has an update from Los Angeles.
Yeah, we'll see you after your game is over, because with 3.5 to go, Los Angeles trying to protect a 10-point lead, and Los Angeles, well, we'll show it eventually here. Los Angeles ends up doing this, fumbling the football, and DC just recovered. And the Dragons just scored a touchdown. They were down 17-0.
Wow.
The game's getting tight. We'll see you over there.
Thank you, Cam. Yes, go check that out. When you're done here, we're just wrapping up a few kneel downs here, but Los Angeles, Brett, another second half collapse.
And this just can't happen. I can't be soothsaying collapses from the same team over and over again. Now a 3-point game with 3.5 left to go. It just can't happen. You hope as a fair weather fan of the league that LA somehow finds a way back, but DC is showing why they were one of the best teams in the league to start off this first half of the season.
And for fans of Los Angeles, they wonder why there's so much apathy to, like, we're going to be better next year. We're going to be better next year. When it's been said so many times and it doesn't get better, and moments like this happen, more second half collapses happen, you say, oh, next year will be better. You've been saying that for how many years? How many seasons? You got to wonder why there's so much apathy against LA. As pundits, as Fairweather fans, we want LA to be better. We don't want to see and get these game breaks where a second half collapses. But there's got to be change. There's got to be something that ushers in a real era of change, a real change of momentum, a change of fortunes. But unfortunately for LA, it's not going to happen this season. Don't know when it'll happen. But Lexington here, this is a sign of life. 3 more points, and they'll probably take this win here.
Yeah, they'll take their 3rd win of the season. It has definitely been something of a disappointment for Lexington season as well. Remember, just 2 seasons ago, they were argued as one of the best wildcard teams to head into the playoffs at 7-5 because they look so strong in how they just moved the football and how well they defended the pass as well. And now they're going into their final game next week at 3 wins. They've got a chance to get themselves to 4-8, which will, we've seen teams in this era start with a win streak to end the season and then carry that on over to next season. Mexico City is a great example of that. They won their last 2 games, and all of a sudden they win. They go 9-3 the next season. You got to have the momentum at the end of the season to start a new momentum forward.
15 seconds to go for the Predators. Pass left side's caught by Spelling. And with no timeouts, the clock is going to wind and wind under 4, 3, 2, spike. Final play in Predator franchise history on the docket.
DC just picked the ball off and returned it to the LA 10-yard line.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I wasn't.
Likens, you're killing me, man. 2 seconds, final play of this game. Floater here from Kopech. It is caught beautifully by Spelling, but it's too little, too late. 29-13, your final score. Lexington will win. And we invite you to go watch the final few moments in the LA-DC game, where DC is looking to come back down 17-0, and they're well within scoring range to do it. Charleston end their franchise before being reorganized with a loss. We hope to see many of their talented members in that new organization. We do know that Xavier Solomon and Yale Montana will not be a part of it. But as far as ownership groups go, as far as people go, Charleston, or the new franchise that is yet to be named, will be named after the SFL championship game. We look forward to seeing what they become. For Lexington, this is a good sign of life, a good victory, a very dominant victory. They'll be looking to carry that momentum out into the oncoming season in season 26. For all of us here at VFN, for Brett Solberg, Ellie Diomas, JW Hartstone, and Kevin Irvine, I'm Tyler Fulk saying good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Bidoo!